little rough around the edges, that track, but I think it's a great track. I wanted to try and sort of take an overview of Krautrock and look at perhaps what is its influence, in a kind of strategic sense, I suppose. But I think really one thing it did, I mean, I'm probably just talking about the red Krautrock, but it kind of interpreted a lot of avant-garde ideas and music, but made it accessible and listenable. It certainly was a move away from using traditional blues music, which a lot of rock was stuck with at the time, really. There was definitely, the idea and the use of repetition, which I think has become so important in a lot of modern music genres. And there was also the incorporating of kind of other music, global music from around the world, which we probably call world music these days. But also, not just the music that was produced, it was also the way it was created, I think, was quite influential as well. In particular, the way artists or groups or members of groups collaborated together. It wasn't about one person. There was kind of a bit of a movement against celebrity, really, at the time amongst young West Germans. So there was a lot of democracy within groups and collaboration, and also the use of improvisation as well as part of the mix. And definitely, obviously, the use of electronics and technology was at the forefront of a lot of what they were doing. I've also mentioned what I've called lightning rods, which I've picked out two probably most well-known examples are going to be David Bowie and Brian Eno, and I think the influence of Krautrock was kind of passed through them and came into the mainstream perhaps through those two artists in particular. But also, in particular, probably Krautrock and Faust moved away from traditional performance styles. And I'll come back to talk a little bit more about Krautrock in a minute as well. So I'm gonna play a track now by a group called Can. And I'm going to follow it up quite cruelly with another track by Faust, I'm afraid, because I love Faust.